Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 827 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Mulda, and I am joined with two fun guys. I have Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And Rob Rosebroom.
Hi, I'm fun.
There's
I'm mushroom. I'm the fun guy.
There's two mushroom-related stories in the zone today.
Well, one of those mushrooms isn't the funny mushrooms.
I don't think. Yeah, well, one of them is actually. They're both interesting, I guess.
That's funny.
Well, let's see. It's been 2 weeks since we gathered together.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I was traveling and cranky. So.
Well, that's what travel is for.
No. The travel was great. It was just, when you're 12 time zones away, it's like,
I love it. It's so peaceful and tranquil when you're 12 time zones away.
Well, it was, I do aggressively nap during these things.
Smart.
So this would often hit during my afternoon nap as I'm adjusting to jet lag. So.
And the nice thing about like a week of being 12 time zones away is that you basically just get used to it and then you get to come back.
Is it really 12? I mean, what time am I in?
You're 3 ahead and it's 5 back. Yeah.
So I was in London.
You were 5 hours off of normal.
Yeah, 5 hours off of East Coast.
7. So 8 for me. Yeah. Okay. Still, what's a time zone really? Are we counting like the half-hour time zones?
Yes.
The 15-minute time zones?
Yes.
I don't think we are. And are we going one way or the other? It could be all the time zones.
And if we're going to be correct, this should be like up to within a few seconds, right?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, if we're going to be accurate.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that people listen to Geeks in Space for,
it's the accuracy.
It's accuracy.
Yeah.
We might have talked about this before, but one of the most horrible things that we ever got into with Slashdot was having to maintain like code for time zones and stuff. And daylight savings time. Like the rules for that stuff are not good.
And they change all the time.
All the time. So you end up having like a mountain of legacy code just to make sure that in 1999 at 10 o'clock that was what time. Like that stuff's hard.
Yeah, it is.
These are the things that people don't understand unless they've been forced to maintain a large thing that has to have that.
And shouldn't everyone be forced?
No.
Maintain /code?
Punishment worse than death.
Imagine it would drive people out of computer science like crazy.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Much like the people who decided to put up their Suyu code on GitLab.
And they got shut down almost immediately, like a week later.
Yeah. And there was also a thing that was saying anyone who had submitted a patch, they also suspended their accounts at GitLab.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was kind of crazy.
That's way worse.
Well, they're like, we know what you're doing, dudes. Cut it out. It's like, Nintendo has no sense of humor, it turns out.
I mean, yeah, that hurts. Like the idea that they would like take just for submitting a patch that they would cancel your account. That's, I don't know. That's harsh. That seems a bit much. But I guess what do I know? This is now 12 days old, but just to mention, we had talked about Voyager getting lost again, but it's beeping.
Mm-hmm.
They hear it. Apparently it did like a RAM dump. So they got like a memory dump, and they can now look and see if some of the bits got twiddled. But it was alive. It did something again.
But I thought it died like shortly after that.
No, they got a RAM dump. And like that was the thing, is that they lost communication for like months.
Yeah.
And then for like several weeks, and then they got a RAM dump. So they know, like, I guess now there's at least hope that they might be able to turn it back on again.
Well, I mean, didn't Zen head out there and turn it on and off again? I mean, I thought that was your job.
I restarted the router, but nothing happened.
It uses Zigbee though, so the signal takes a while to get there.
Well, there is the delay tolerant networking standard that Vint Cerf was pushing for the interplanetary internet.
Right, for the Mars folk.
Yeah, so I just figured you upgraded the router to support DTN. Right.
I think the problem might just be that it's waiting for the Windows 11 patch. And I don't know how long it's going to take for a computer made in 1976.
It launched in 77, so it was probably
5 years earlier.
Yeah. I mean, with parts that were probably already 5 years space qualified, right?
Yeah. And I mean, and it's got like what 2K, 3K of RAM, so 3K of memory. So
not a lot.
It probably takes a while to like insert your 3.5-inch floppies.
Well, Rob was telling me when he went out there, he went to go plug in his USB key, and there was just nowhere to put it.
Well, you can't stick the port in the right way; it's upside down.
Well, yeah, you have to keep turning it around, and it flies off because it's centripetal force.
Centripetal force, yeah, common problem. Well, good luck to the heroic engineers that are trying to keep Voyager online. I love it. Now we get to talk about Cicada P,
which is an incredible thing.
There'll be a lot of it this year. We're having a double hatch.
Is it a Cicada year over there?
It's like double.
They had a double one. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I know that all the cicadas are coming out this year.
This podcast has been going for a really long time. I remember us talking about cicadas probably in Michigan in the late 90s or something. 2 cicadas ago. I mean, or a cicada ago.
Cicadas back.
Yeah, because I remember saying this story, which I'm going to say again because Jeff and his habits of not uploading episodes. Man, but yeah, no, I remember in Virginia when I was a kid, and just cars being coated with cicada bodies from driving down the highway fast, and I'm just like, this is so gross. They were so gross, dude. So it's really great to hear about their jet urine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually a pretty cool story in that someone's job is to study the waste disposal mechanisms of insects. And this guy goes down the road hard. I mean, how long do you think you sit as a bug pee specialist?
A bugologist. A bug urinologist,
waiting for the news to call you so that you can flex your muscles, right?
Yep. Call the cicada urine specialist.
Finally, it happened. And he goes deep.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, there you
go. There it is. Yep. There's the money shot, literally.
Oh man, I missed it for the screenshot.
Oh, Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I can go back, really.
No, it's quite all right. I got a completely different screenshot of a completely different cicada. That'll be our famous cicada.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We shall name him Bob.
He's a good bug. He's a good bug.
Maverick, because
I like to think that guy like gets summoned out for like court cases, like because you need an expert witness, and once in a while you're gonna need the bug urine expert, and that's probably that guy's like side hustle.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know what this John Cena story was. So this is Rob's, right? This is a weird one.
It's not me, so
it was just
the Illuminati would never allow me to.
Yeah, to
talk about
the latest conspiracy theory. They were saying that his naked appearance at the Oscars was an initiation ritual because he had to embarrass himself.
Sure,
or the Illuminati would let him join. But we know that's not true.
That's not true. But I heard he might have co-written.
He asked people to.
He might have co-written Argyle with Taylor Swift, though.
Yes.
Wait, what?
That was a conspiracy going around that Taylor Swift wrote Argyle.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, why not?
Honestly, if she had written it, it would have been better.
Right?
I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was okay.
I liked Argyle.
Yeah, there was a lot to like about it.
It's fun, but it's
a little too much cat.
I liked it better when it was called The Long Kiss Goodnight, and it starred Samuel Jackson and Gina Davis. But
or what's the Bourne movies? Where with memory and
so
there's so many of these things.
After we watched Argyle, Kat and I were talking about The Long Kiss Goodnight, and so we rewatched that, and so now we're on a Shane Black kick. So in the last week, I watched Shane Black. I watched not Pitch Black, Shane Black, the director.
I thought he did Pitch Black, though.
I do not think so. But he did do The Nice Guys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Sure.
And those are both like really fun movies that I've watched in the last week, and I'm very pleased with them.
That's decent.
Did you watch the video of the SpaceX launch?
I didn't. I know I've turned my nerd card in.
If you can, get the video up and fast forward to like a couple minutes before the end. Just scrub around like crazy. So what was crazy about this is that they had it connected to the SpaceX satellite network, right? So they have a live video feed from the fuselage of the rocket,
Right?
And so it would clip out every now and then. But as everybody knows from watching like Apollo 13 or whatever, you get your radio blackout when you're re-entering the Earth's atmosphere and your antennas are ionizing, right? Well, they had live video feed through this because they were sending their signals to SpaceX satellites, and I guess that's better than trying to bounce it back to Earth somehow. So there was live video streams of the plasma on the hull of the thing as it was re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. And anybody who hasn't seen this it's worth 30 seconds of scrubbing through because it just looks really neat.
Did you link to it, or did you link to the advertising surrounded one?
I assume that link that I had the video.
Yeah, it does, but I think you have to wait through a 19-minute,
a lot of ad.
So I'm finding the YouTube one of it. So,
well, while you're finding that, we can talk about the first of two mushroom-related stories.
That's a great idea.
We have the deadly morel mushroom outbreak story that I shared for Rob because.
What about clone sheep, man?
Mine has morels next, but this was just there was a bunch of people ate bad morels.
I'm pretty sure we talked about the clone sheep last time too.
So Rob, they just there was a restaurant and they tracked it back and a bunch of people got really, 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 really sick. And this article is just basically we don't exactly understand morels.
Were they eating false morels?
You'd have to. I do not know. They said
seems like they have very poor morels.
Not good morels.
Yeah, I mean they have there's a real problem with ethics and morals.
Yeah, it sounds like a failing of morality.
Whoosh.
It took us a while to get to that, and I'm not sure it was worth it.
Was this
Did it take us a while?
Days ago? Because if so, I found it. The SpaceX thing.
This was like 12 days ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like a 45-minute video, and you can skip to like the last like couple minutes.
That's so cool, dude.
It was neat to watch.
Can you imagine building something so cool as SpaceX and then saying, "You know what I want to do? I want to destroy my reputation on Twitter."
Yeah. Way to go.
Way to go.
Way to go. You really did it. You turned Twitter into shitter.
I mean, it's just so dumb.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. This is so cool. Right? It's I mean,
but yeah, just scrub forward until when it's re-entering the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's just the last few seconds because then it breaks up, and they don't have video from that. But just watching the plasma during re-entry was really neat. So you can see it's like flipping around and stuff's breaking off. It was not good. And I mean, as far as like the function of spaceships, landing is like half of it. Like,
okay, here we go.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that it can keep the signal with the.
Yeah, it did this with a live stream. So not only like, look at how cool that is.
That's
like
so
got the
cool.
fins moving, and you can see it like going. I don't know.
You can even see the tile. Look at how they integrate the tiles. They're like, yeah, we don't need it past here, Yeah. And they don't, They know if they need it, they're doomed anyway.
Everything about this just makes me happy because there's the live streaming component, there's the watching re-entry, there's the fact that this is the largest thing that we've ever put up into space. There's a whole lot here that makes me happy.
Well, so this is really interesting. So if it's symmetrical in how they apply the tiles, it's going to start burning through.
Well, it was flipping around. It was not a controlled descent.
Well, true.
So
it's going to start eating away at the
fuse. So like, look at that. You can see the little diagram on the bottom where they're showing the angle. It's like flipping around.
Yeah, it's like having an issue.
It was basically in free fall. I think. I don't think they had any control really.
They were trying. I think that the fins were working, and then they weren't
doing something.
And they got to this point.
Yeah. Oops.
It had a little whoopsie doozle.
Oops. And then at some point they just lose the signal.
And this is right over your house, right? I mean,
well, I know it buzzed right by Rob's. What do we pretend that we're in? Pods, satellites.
Yeah, sure. Extra robot parts, rocket parts that have been left in space. We accrete them around us. Yeah, we're basically like garbage men.
Well, yeah, we're like the leftovers from broken apart craft that they
exactly.
Look
there's 10,000 pieces of a rocket debris.
Cool yeah, NASA doesn't. I covered mine with mirrors, so NASA can't track me. I'm painted with Vanta black.
Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
Look at how cool. Look at that. Ugh, I don't know.
That's neat.
Everything about that just makes me happy. The fact that they got that live streamed, that's neat. That makes me
That's really neat.
So we have a story about, I don't know how to say Bjarne Strustrap's name. I don't know.
Well, it's actually Barney.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
I'm not being sarcastic.
They call him Barney?
Yeah. When they talk about him, friends of his. Yeah, it's Barney. Barney Strustrup.
I did not know that. I've never heard his name pronounced.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was some shenanigans between the Whitehouse came out and released guidelines about typing variables.
Yeah. They're like, hey, don't use C and C++.
Just the kind of leadership that I expect from the White House. I like to think that old Joe was really that was a passion project for him.
Well, Joe Biden's very clearly into Rust. So.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, he was super into all the back in the day when everybody was running everything on Node, and Docker and super into it. I heard he was a Y Combinator.
Into Ruby on Rails. He was never into Ruby on Rails.
Oh, right. Too cool for that.
Those JavaScript frameworks. Oh no.
Yeah. What was the framework, the Twitter one that every single web page looked like for that was 5
Ruby.
Years? Yeah. That was another name for it. It was a template. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, their thing. What was it?
Yeah. Every web page looked exactly the same for a couple of years. Anyway, they said you got to be careful with your C++ and your typed variables.
And he's like, as a creator of C++, you can blow me.
And Arnie's like, yeah, no. Like all things, there are good times and bad times.
Bootstrap.
That was what it was like. Everything looked like Bootstrap.
Yeah, it did.
And so that was what all of Joe's hackathon projects looked like.
Yeah.
All right. What's this Lego head? What's this Lego head story?
I think a Zen post.
That's just how they have the lineup mugshots.
Yeah.
They have Facebook groups you could go to. Well, someone got concerned about privacy of these arrested people, so they started replacing their faces with Lego heads on the official page.
That's really kind of them, actually.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that they were putting plastic helmets on these guys for the pictures, but no, they're photoshopping these afterwards.
No. No.
It started with emoji.
Oh.
So it turns out. And then they sent off a informational post so that people would understand what they were up to. So there you go. Here's a guy. I'm guessing drunken in public. What do you think?
Good chance. Good chance.
He's sitting on a planter outside of probably an elementary school where he just dropped his kid off, but he's hammered. I don't know who this guy.
It is interesting. I didn't read if they use the same heads for certain crimes, but that would be an interesting thing to do. So you wouldn't even have to read the paperwork. You just realize that face is drunken in public.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a 407.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, let's see now. Fortunately, the officers, this person apparently stole a victim's phone.
Stole a kid's toys.
Well, iPhone or something, but they didn't shut the phone off. So the victim of the crime provided location update for the officers. They were able to locate the suspect inside a clothing store. The suspect admitted to stealing the phone, but claimed he was going to hold on to it until the victim called.
And now he's just ahead.
Let's see now. Officers later located a handwritten to-do list which listed sell iPhone.
Just
as the number one item.
Organized criminal.
Officers then conducted a search of the suspect's vehicle and located a license plate not belonging to the vehicle. They determined the suspect was driving around the early morning hours and stole a license plate from a hotel parking lot in Temecula. Ultimately, the suspect was arrested and booked into the Birdhouse, which I think is their jail, for grand theft, possession of stolen property, and unlawfully possessing pepper spray due to him being a convicted felon. He had committed crimes before.
Really? Hey, did you see the video of the Baltimore Bridge?
Yeah.
I just thought of that as we're talking about crimes. Like, what do you do about that? Like, oh my God. People, a lot of people must have died in that, right? That thing was full of cars.
I think there's 6 people missing right now.
Oh my God. The video is just terrifying. Yeah,
it was. I mean, I've been over that bridge a zillion times when I was a kid, That's the bridge you take when you're going like Camden Yards. It's nuts, man.
I always came from the other direction. I was in DC.
Yeah.
That was freaky, man. But it was a container ship. It's nice to know that like container ship shenanigans aren't limited to the Suez Canal, and we can have them here too.
Well, it's important that we're all able to take part in container ship rammings of
in the slow deterioration of infrastructure around the world.
I don't mean to brag, but maybe I should start up how to drive a boat school.
The Shits and Giggles Academy.
I don't know. He was having power problems to the point where the pilot was like, they radioed back and they're like, you got to shut the bridge down because this is not under control. And so like there's a video of it basically running out of power coming back on, and then it shuts down. 10 seconds later, they ram the bridge. It's just like, this isn't like the Suez Canal where the pilot was clearly incompetent, right? There were no tugs. It was just, it was under its own power. And when you have a lot
of inertia
is what they were saying its total displacement was. I mean, that is a lot.
When you're in a great big boat and the wind is blowing and your engine cuts out, it's really hard to park it.
It's hard. I mean, those things take 10 miles to turn. It's not like you can like put, stop on a dime,
Yeah, it takes a very long time.
You can't just slam it into reverse and have everybody push forwards.
Especially if your power's out, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really something.
That's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And like people died, man. There were people in cars on that bridge when that happened. That is horrifying.
Well, that's the thing. If you watch the video, you see a guy on a car like 10 or 15 seconds before, and he's going across. They had said they had closed the bridge because they knew something was likely bad to happen. But they still, I think there were 7 people across however many cars that were affected, or 7 people that they were feared dead because of this. Which is actually really low, considering.
It was late at night, at least, I guess. So the bridge wasn't like traffic
jam. 1:30 or 2 in the morning.
Well, we got video of a guy carrying body parts.
That's a crazy story. So this train hit somebody. They died, and this dude went and grabbed a leg from the crime scene.
Whoa.
And ran away with it.
Like free leg? Cool.
Yeah. And then they were saying the story. This is the second time it happened. They also had it in
same guy?
No, different dude. There was some guy who went and got a hand from a traffic accident and ran away with it. What the hell,
Well, Baker.
I guess every spine thief has to start somewhere, right? So, look, I'm just walking away. Well, got me a leg.
Got me a
leg. The cops are right there. The cops are right there.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I'm glad they blurred it.
Yeah, I mean, boy, that's weird.
Wouldn't it be great if it was just a mannequin and then this is all just silly? That'd make me a lot happier.
That's just, it's both creepy and weird and strange and
it's dark.
But it's so Bakersfield, it's one of those towns you're like,
Well, in Cleveland, they're using mushrooms. Again, my second fungi-related story. So now there's 3 fun guys and 2 fun guy stories that they're using a house to clean, or mushrooms to eat a house.
Well, it's Cleveland.
I don't want to talk about it if you're going to use puns that bad.
Are they? They're basically like, this is cleaning up heavy metals, right?
So I thought this was when the headline leads you to believe that I thought they were just going to spray spores all over this thing and wait 3 months and watch it disintegrate. But that is not what is happening. You have to go. It's still kind of a cool story. You have to go and level the house, grind it all up. But they found this strain of fungi will eat the cellulose from the studs, all the stuff in the house, and will also lock up some heavy metals and keep them from going in the ground.
That's cool.
And then they dry up the mushrooms, grind it up, and make bricks out of it that are stronger than brick, have about the tensile strength of steel. So this is more about not filling up landfills and locking up heavy metals.
I assume that they would take the mushrooms, dry them up, and then feed them to restaurant people in Montana.
Yeah, and poison them.
Yeah.
If you scroll down to the bottom, they show you one of the bricks that they've made out of the fungus.
I love it. Oh, that's
like
actually...
that wall is made out of the fungus bricks, and then they just show one of the bricks below.
That's aesthetically interesting.
It's really cool.
I love that my children learned the word mycelium at an incredibly young age because of Minecraft.
Sure.
Not The Last of Us?
No, they didn't get that.
Not the Star Trek with the spore drive.
And definitely not that. No kid has ever watched that show on purpose.
Yeah. Damn shame.
That's cool. I like that.
It is cool.
So there's an election coming up, and we get to choose between 2 really great candidates. But if you were thinking about spoiling your ballot and voting for a third-party candidate, a man has changed his name to literally anybody else. So you can vote for literally anybody else.
And it's Texas. He'll probably get some number of votes, you know?
I didn't read the accompanying, the extra article I saw after I posted this, that the Fed shut him down. They have barred him from that.
But it's because he was Mexican, not because of the name.
But I mean, it's kind of a good idea, right?
He's an immigrant. He can't run for, I'm sure there's like some Texas reason.
This guy is a history teacher.
Oh, cool.
I remember right.
Right on.
Dustin Eby.
Yeah, 300 million people can do better, he said.
He's right.
Yeah.
But this is the system we have, guys. Look at these stellar choices.
Wait a second. He told news outlet WFAA88. What the hell kind of name is that? That's like one of those like weird Amazon brands.
It's like it's a ham radio station.
I mean, it is, right?
88.
Welcome to WFAA88.
Hey, WFAA.
You kids remember?
What's the news?
Kids remember UHF?
I am a big fan of Wheel of Fish.
Yeah, right.
Well, gentlemen, that's the zone. What media have we absorbed in the last couple of weeks besides Shane Black? You were on planes. You have to have seen stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was rewatching a lot of Stargate, I admit. But, I watched the new Roadhouse.
Oh, I have that on my list.
It was fine.
Queued up for me too.
It was fine. It was exactly what you expect. I have to tell you though, Conor McGregor, he is honestly one of the funniest characters I've seen in a movie. He's like, I don't even know how tall this guy is, but he's like this super muscular, bouncy, chaos guy.
You don't want to like that guy.
No, I don't really like him, but
is he a bad person?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about him. I'm not really.
He was super canceled.
Was he super canceled? But yeah, watching him just like chew the scenery. I'm not saying he's a good actor, but boy, did he chew up the scenery. It was kind of great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I get my.
What else did I see?
I have been. Well, I've been on a Shane Black kick lately, so
yeah, you mentioned.
I've been watching the MonsterVerse movies, so in preparation for Kong.
Right, we got one coming up.
I did watch Madam Web. Oof.
Ooh, I have that queued up, but I haven't had the will to do it yet.
It's bad. But it's not bad. Like, sometimes movies are bad and fun. This is not bad and fun. This is just like,
they just are picking very strange characters to do movies about.
Oh,
unless they had a good story.
Drive Away Dolls is fun. That's
Oh, is it?
Yeah, if you want to see something, it's just like a lesbian road comedy with a Coen humor.
Sure. And I like the Coens, so
it's just one of the Coens. It's half the.
I
Coen.
know. I know.
It's a half Coen.
Half Coen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun. It's not a great movie or anything, but like it has some really fun and memorable stuff in it, which I really enjoyed. Did we talk about Beekeeper?
The Jason Statham movie?
Yes.
I've seen previews for it, but I haven't watched it yet.
You might actually like it. It's kind of so, Chris. It's like he goes and takes vengeance upon like a Kit Boga call center.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of great for that.
I am on board.
Yeah,
for that nonsense.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, but it's not good. Also, I watched the Bob Marley One Love, and I said this in the channel, but like I can't understand how somebody could make a movie after Dewey Cox Walk Hard that hits all of the beats of Dewey Cox Walk Hard just like so hard. It's like you didn't even try. You just like made that movie. Like, we know. Stop. And so immediately then when I finished watching that, I started rewatching Dewey Cox Walk Hard. Because that movie's got too good. You got to live double good for the both of us, Dewey.
I saw something on YouTube. It was basically about how they did the Weird Al movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they basically are like, yeah, after Walk Hard, I mean, that's the template, you know? So we just walked the template, you know? And it was kind of great. So.
It's great. You know what I also watched, which you're gonna be amazed that I'd never seen The Never-Ending Story.
What?
I know.
Even after the Family Guy, that whole thing.
I knew it. I know it from like memes and gifs, but I'd never seen it. That and Legend were like two movies that like everybody saw growing up that I just somehow missed. And actually, I enjoyed The Never-Ending Story more than Legend. But
I love it when the horse drowns.
Yeah, that sucked. So Kat had seen it, and she's just like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I know what this is gonna happen, and it's sad." And I'm like, "Oh no!" I don't know. Anything else worth mediaing? I need some new stuff.
No.
I'm trying. Well, you know, I've been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so I finished that finally.
I watched the first 3 episodes, and it just didn't take off for me.
Yeah, I liked it. Honestly, it was good. What else did I see?
I rewatched Contact, and I thought about you, Chris, because it has so many satellite dishes.
Fantastic satellite dishes.
Yeah.
A very large array.
Yeah.
Satellite dishes.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think what else I've been watching.
I watched a horrible movie, which was for How Did This Get Made? It's called Ronal the Barbarian. And it's Ronal.
I don't know that even I have seen that, and I've seen almost every terrible fantasy movie.
It's animated.
Beastmaster.
And it's from like 2012.
1 and 2, of course.
And it's Danish. Yeah.
Although their work on Dead Snow was quite good.
So without spoiling Ronal, which is, to be clear, a stinking pile of garbage of a film.
Okay.
There is like a 2-minute long chase sequence where Ronal covers himself in magical something plot armor to make himself invisible, but he runs out before he manages to cover his male area. So there's an entire action sequence of him sneaking through a castle. He's invisible, but his male area is not. That's the level of humor
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's the level of humor we're looking at here. It's really bad.
So not humor.
It is not good.
Wow.
So don't watch that.
So how is it like on a Zardos level? Because I got to tell you, I'm not sure that I like the beginning of any movie, that first like 2 minutes of
The Way
Zardos.
of the Gun.
I think that is so magnificent. It is so hilarious, so perfect. And then the rest of that movie is terrible. It's almost unwatchable.
Zardoz is worse in that it makes less sense.
Okay.
But Ronal kind of makes sense. Like Ronal is like they took the template of a standard sort of kids action-y movie and then just added so many dick jokes to it.
Oh.
It's kind of like they took they mixed Sausage Party in with like the world's worst Conan sort of parody. It has some good jokes, but it is not a good movie.
Okay.
There's one really good joke that's in the first couple of minutes that I really like, which is like the king of the barbarians gets stabbed, and so all of the other barbarians have to drink his blood, which they do for 7 days and 7 nights.
What?
Like,
blood doesn't taste good. What about that guy that stole the leg?
Also, you don't bleed for 7 days and 7 nights because of a giant gaping hole in your chest. You die.
Well, you might bleed if you freshen it up.
So it wasn't old blood. It was from the source.
No, it was just like gushing out of him for 7 days.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a juicy guy.
Yeah.
The juicy guy.
I also watched one called Self-Reliance.
Okay.
Which stars was it Jake Johnson, the guy from New Girl, and the voice of Peter B. Parker from the Spider-Verse movies.
Oh, okay.
The premise of it is
that's the one with what's her name, who you love,
Anna Kendrick, yeah, and It's a Lonely Island production, right? So it's got a guy I like, a gal I like, and Lonely Island. I'm all on board for Lonely Island. I will watch Pop Star right now. I will watch Hot Rod right now. Like these things. Yeah, these are.
Yes.
It's not as good as Pop Star. I think Pop Star is a masterpiece. Hot Rod is funny though, but it's a Lonely Island thing. And basically Andy Samberg shows up and is like tells Jake Johnson, if you can live for 30 days, you win $1 million, but you'll be murdered by secret hunters that are hunting you. You're being filmed for a reality TV show, and the rule is you can never be alone. So you always have to be physically next to somebody.
Yeah, and so like when you become alone, that they're hunting you.
They're hunting you. Yeah, and like. There's metaphor, I guess, mixed into that, and it really falls apart in the third act. There's some funny bits. It's not that great, but there is some funny bits in the middle. It gets really dark at the end. Really dark. All right, gentlemen. I think we've done it. We've used up our allotted minutes.
Yep.
We did it.
All right.
All right.
Let's say goodbye to Rob Roseboom, a fun guy.
Goodbye.
Let's say goodbye to Chris DeBona, a morel mushroom.
That's very cute.
So much morality. And I'll be immoral. How about that? I was Rob Commander Taco Malda. That was episode 267 of Geeks in Space. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.